All right, everybody, welcome back to the Lions Pit Podcast. I am your host, Nick Gomez, and with me today is my good friend, Shane Keefe, owner of Pressure Gym and professional MMA fighter. How are you, brother?
Brother Nick, good to see you, man.
Good to see you too, man. Welcome to the show.
It's a nice place, man. This is incredible.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Again, I'm so fortunate to be in here. Every time I come in here, I'm like, damn, this is a gorgeous studio. So, shout out to the folks at Soundshed Studio. It is just as professional as it gets in here. I was going to ask you earlier, talking about opening up the gym. So first of all, let's. Sorry, I'm jumping because I'm so excited to talk about it. But what made you want to open a gym? Because you've been a pro fighter for how long now?
See, I guess I think I turned pro in 2020, like during COVID.
Okay.
I think I first started training like 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Might have had I fought pretty quickly after that. So I think either 2017 or 2016 was like my first amateur fight.
And you were training out of California?
Yeah. I started off at Team Alpha Male, actually.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. But I was living in Sacramento. I was going to junior college at the time. And I had a couple homies that were wrestling that were going down there and kind of like cross training. And one of them just kind of like invited me out. And then I ended up meeting Uriah Faber.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, man, you look like a competitor. You should get some gloves. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with those, But I never it's not that I didn't like fighting. I guess I didn't see myself really doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I got the gloves, man. And I guess the rest was history. Just kind of fell in love with it.
So your background is mostly, you started off like grappling?
Yeah, I grew up wrestling. Yeah, I started wrestling, I think I was like 10 or 11.
Okay.
I used to watch a lot of WWF.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, and I was like a rambunctious kid too. So like my dad was like, I told him I was like, asked him, they have like little kids wrestling, and he was like, they sure do. And he ended up taking me to like a real wrestling practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I got there and I was like mad. I felt like he tricked me.
This was in WWF?
Yeah, 1,000%. I was like, there's no turnbuckles, no chairs, nothing. Yeah. I still remember my first takedown. Like I picked this kid up and I put him on my shoulders and I was like walking around talking like hell yeah, brother, like dropped him.
Yeah.
And dude, he whooped my ass for like an hour after. He was actually really good. His name was Martin Ramirez.
Okay.
But yeah, I still remember my first takedown. I think it was WWE.
Yeah. Who was your favorite WWE star?
I think growing up, it went back and forth. It was Stone Cold for sure, and The Rock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those guys are like a little bit after my fandom. I grew up watching like Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker.
HBK,
yeah, Heartbreak Kid. And then I wasn't really like a big Bret the Hitman Hart fan, but Shawn Michaels, Ahmed Johnson. I don't know if you remember that name. Ahmed Johnson is a big old dude. And then there was Ultimate Warrior as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm how old are you?
31 now.
Okay, I'm 38. So yeah, I got a couple years on you. But Shawn Michaels was definitely my dude. And then the 1-2-3 Kid who went on to become a different name. I forget what they called him after that. But the 1-2-3 Kid, he was in there. It was great, man. That was like the golden era for me. And then sadly, once I found out it wasn't real, I was like, damn, I'm on to something else now. Started watching a lot more football. Niners fan.
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang, Niner gang.
Bang, bang.
Yeah, fantastic offseason so far.
Think so?
Absolutely. You get Fred Warner. You get Mike Evans. I'm not Fred Warner. Sorry. Dre Greenlaw.
I'm happy to see Big Play Dre.
Big Play Dre. He's back in the fold. Re-signed Trent Williams.
Yeah.
We got Kirk from the Texans.
Yeah.
Bro, Niners are stacked right now.
Man,
what are you hesitating on? Why is that?
I don't feel like we have the safeties to compete for a championship. We have that's like...
you don't like Mustafa?
I love the guy, but I think just by himself, it's a problem. I think we've always been like a hard-hitting football team.
Mm-hmm.
We've always preferred that. Had a good defensive front, but I think you look at all the Super Bowls and NFC Championship games we lost. It was always by a number one receiver with the quarterback that can extend the play for an extra second, like Mahomes, Wilson. It's just always those kinds of guys that always beat us.
Yeah,
and I just feel like with all the money that we have, why don't we just get a veteran back there? We had, what's his name? That remember we had Tashawn Gibson?
Oh yeah,
that was a good year.
Yeah.
That was
Tashawn
a great year.
Great.
Yeah. And then he retired. I'm like,
yeah. Well, he retired and then came back for a year and then retired again, didn't he?
Something like
I'm
that.
pretty
He
sure
popped
he did.
for roids or something.
Well,
they ain't
we don't need to talk
trying.
about that.
You know what I'm saying? At least you're trying.
Yeah. So after Team Alpha Male, where'd you go from there?
So basically, I graduated junior college just to kind of make my dad happy. I told him I would do it.
Yeah.
And then I was
What?
supposed to go to LA to go to school.
Okay.
But at that time, I was kind of thinking like, man, I don't think I want to go to college for anything like I'm going to school for. And I really liked MMA. So then my mom and my whole family, they're from San Jose. So I ended up kind of like moving back in with my mom and my brothers. And, I was looking for places to train. Everyone knows AKA, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I went back there, that's kind of when I got into AKA and I poked my head in there. I trained a little bit, ended up meeting Javier Mendez.
Mm-hmm.
And that man changed my life.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's interesting because I think about you, and also it kind of makes me think about AKA. Like, I've always thought grappling background, and then you think AKA, you think obviously all the Dagestani fighters, you think Daniel Cormier, but man, there are some nasty strikers that come out of there. So is Javi Mendez, is his background striking, like kickboxing, right?
Yeah, Javier Mendez was like one of those like prime, like 80s, 90s, like American kickboxers,
Mm-hmm.
It's like before like Muay Thai really got in the game, like, like he's like of like the Duke Rufus era,
Yeah, gotcha.
all that cool shit,
Did you ever see the video of, it was a Muay Thai fighter that fought Duke Rufus's brother?
Yeah, yeah.
And he was wearing like pants.
Yeah.
And he just gets the shit kicked out of his
Dude,
legs.
Rick Rufus was the man.
Rick
though,
Rufus,
bro.
thank you. Yeah, I couldn't
Yeah,
think
he
of his
was an
name.
absolute man. But yeah, just Muay Thai killed everything.
Yeah.
That's what they said.
It enlightened everything.
True, but man, you're not seeing cool shit no more.
Dude, I love Muay
Spinning
Thai.
back kicks, axe kicks. I mean, kickboxing, especially like when it was in its heyday, it was beautiful because you got to see like traditional martial arts techniques. What Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is basically doing now. Guys were doing that back then.
Yeah.
Like spinning wheel kicks, the crazy traditional kicks, like really good, like high quality, like West Coast boxing style. Like Javier Mendez, I mean, was a phenomenal boxer.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, he had kicks. So I always thought that was the cool thing about, I guess, like kickboxing, like back then anyways, was that you just got to see this like super unique blend of styles, like you'd have guys like, kind of like Raymond Daniels is now.
Mm.
There was like a lot more guys like that back then, but then when you bring Muay Thai and leg kicks into the picture, you're not really afforded that opportunity to kind of stand like that and have those kinds of techniques. So the game changed, right? But there was like a moment where like a lot of people thought kickboxing was going to like take over as like one of the biggest sports. Like it was like one of the fastest rising sports for a while.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Have you seen, there is a Muay Thai fighter out of Dagestan, and he is nasty, and he has like really nasty axe kicks. I can't pronounce his name. And
there was a couple. I think I know who you're talking about.
I think he's in one.
There's a couple.
Yeah, there's a couple.
Yeah, but I think I know who you're talking about. There's
banging.
one that came on earlier, like Ramazan or something like that. He was like he was a smaller fighter, but then now there's this guy that came out recently, and he had a couple crazy, like that highlight really talk about the axe kick, and then he goes like a spinning back fist.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's nasty. I didn't know that they did anything other than, what's the wrestling that Khabib did?
Sambo.
Yeah. I thought that was just it out of Dagestan.
They're a really big combat sports country.
Yeah.
Really, like they're like everything that's like Olympic combat sports. Like they got good boxing, wrestling. What else? I think they even like semi-decent like at taekwondo and stuff like that. But it's just like a heavy martial arts like culture.
Okay.
I don't think they're like
it's tough culture.
Yeah, and I know they have like actual like back then. I don't know if it's changed now, but like they have fight schools. Like you would go to like a boxing school, where like you would do like your arithmetic and all that stuff, and then you would like box.
Oh no shit!
It was like a majority. It's like basically kind of grooming these kids to kind of be really good athletes.
Where's like Bivol? Where's he from?
I think he's like more Russian.
Okay.
I know he has like mixed heritage. I think he's like Korean Russian or something like that. But he's not like Dagestani or anything like that.
And then what's the other guy? Beterbiev?
Yeah, he's Chechnyan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those guys are so nasty. Watching them box, like those dudes are the truth. They just hit so hard.
Yeah, man. It's that's probably like the quintessential European like boxing styles. Like those guys, just the way they train. I mean, they do the same thing for wrestling. It's just like they have like a really unique structure to their training and their technique. Like a lot of like, if you watch like Russian kids train or like amateurs, it looks like clones. Like they're all kind of like, they have like a similar style, very good, precise technique, but it's very like specific, I guess you could say, where I feel like in America, you see guys with all different kinds of styles, moving in different ways or whatever, but it's very like rigid over there. Same with the wrestling. Like you see like a Russian wrestler, more or less I mean, they kind of wrestle. They look very similar. I
Yeah.
guess, from the stance to just the way they do things.
That makes sense. It's kind of like that in baseball. You can put a silhouette of like someone swinging a bat, and you can tell if they're like a Japanese player. They all kind of fit that same mold. Even Shohei Ohtani, who's obviously very different, big power hitter, but he has a very Asian swing. So yeah, it's kind of interesting to see guys that like grow up in that culture where it's just such a diehard thing. And then, like you said, coming from different regions, like you can just tell, like almost tell where they're from. So you went to AKA, and then what made you want to come out here to Austin?
When you're at AKA, it's a mega camp, right? So I didn't know anything different really.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it was a great experience, obviously. Like I saw some historic times, like some of the videos that are viral now that are part of like Khabib's legacy and stuff like that. Like you could see me in the background of some of those. We were there for like a pretty special time, I feel like, at AKA. Like maybe potentially the height or the pinnacle even, like I know, Kane had already won several championships at that point. DC was the light heavyweight champion, and I think he got 2 belts while I was there working on his heavyweight titles as well. I watched Khabib, go on his title run, was there for like his McGregor camp and stuff. And, Islam, watching Islam the whole time, training with them the whole time. Like it was just kind of like a unique place to be. But, when COVID hit, what kind of happened was, Javier Mendez already had so many champions at that point. I think that he's kind of riding off on the sunset with the Dagestani boys.
Mm-hmm.
And it made sense, he just gave a lot to the game already. And then during COVID too, I think it was just such a weird time for everybody. I know they were threatening to shut down the gym half the time. Like the health inspector would come by. We couldn't really train, a lot of things were up in the air at that point. And I think that the Dagestanis had moved out to maybe like the UAE. They got like some citizenship out there. So he's been out there in the Middle East now. He's over there doing his thing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's been living out there. AKA is still in San Jose. That's still running and doing its thing.
They opened up one in Thailand?
Yeah, that was Mike Swick.
Okay.
So he opened up a location in Thailand too a few years back. But yeah, so anyways, my whole reason for really being there was, Javier and the training and stuff like that. And then I think things during COVID just got so bad where it was like, I'm training for my first professional fight in like somebody's garage.
Yeah.
And at that time I came out to Austin to visit just to check it out. And I mean, obviously I had a really good time. This place is so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
But also got some good training in too. I went over to, initially it was 10th Planet Austin. And that's where I met my coach, Andrew Craig. And me and him just hit it off like right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, but guy's my absolute boy.
Yeah. Shout out Andrew Craig.
Andrew Craig, man, he's a legend, Brent. I call him Mr. Texas.
Yeah, everybody knows him.
Dude, OG, triple OG. He's the mayor of Austin. Guy's like, yeah. I mean, he's done so much for the Austin MMA scene. But yeah, he was such a good resource in person. And I met Gabe Tuttle also at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was just focused on becoming a better fighter. And I was like, I think this move is going to be good for me. One, because I'll be able to train in the gym.
Yeah, that helps.
Open and free. And 2 is like, I think going with like a more focused approach, like having coaches that are more accessible, maybe, might help me out a little bit. But also 2, like, I wouldn't say it was a coaching or anything exactly that made me leave AKA. It was more like, it was just so hard to get by. It was so expensive.
Mm-hmm.
When you're a fighter, you're trying to spend as much time in the gym as possible. And I found that I was working extra jobs and hours just to like, pay rent and things like that. And gas was so expensive. Everything, California's so expensive.
Yeah.
So it's just not very fighter friendly. And then, Austin was a lot cheaper. There was still some jobs out here. So it just seemed like if I wanted to prolong my dream and, continue, that I would need to try to make a move. I had also got signed to Bellator at that time too. So I was thinking about my new Bellator contract, and, I just wanted to feel good about, the effort I was putting towards the sport. So I figured that moving to Austin would be the best bet for me.
You had a couple fights in Bellator?
I had one fight. It was my first fight. I think I was supposed to lose that one. I'm pretty sure they were trying to feed me to Holland Gracie at the time. Yeah. So usually what they'll do, they'll take like a local kid who could sell tickets or whatever, and they'll try to feed him to the wolves.
Yeah.
And I think he probably signed a contract just before, so they were trying to get him going, and I smoked him.
Yeah?
Yeah, I smoked him. I upset. Yeah, it was a pretty big deal, I guess.
How'd you win?
Well, I won by decision.
Okay.
And not gonna lie, it became tough in the third. Like he started coming on, but I think I almost knocked him out like 3 times in the first
Oh,
round.
shit.
Second round, I was like, I think I kind of blew my wad in the first, the adrenaline dump. Like I'm realizing that like I'm fighting in the SAP Center, which I always dreamed of. I remember like
Oh,
driving in
that's
my
sick.
car on the way to AKA, I would see the Shark Tank. And I like, it sounded like maybe I was kidding myself. I was like, one day I'm going to fight there, you know,
Yeah.
one day I'll fight in the Shark Tank. So it was kind of like it was like a crazy moment, you know, it was a crazy moment. So I think, yeah, a little bit of adrenaline. I kind of started out fast and then he started coming on in the third and a little bit of head movement. I got out of there and I finished with a decision, but it was cool.
Hell yeah.
And then after that, they gave me a 4-fight deal.
Oh, nice.
I had like a string of injuries. There's just some circumstances. And then also too, like Bellator was just having issues like putting on shows. I think like they just weren't doing it as frequently as like the people on the roster probably would like,
Sure.
you know? And they kind of relegated me to being the San Jose guy, you know? And they were only really coming to San Jose like once or twice a year. So if you weren't ready then, you know, you probably weren't getting your chance. And so it was just kind of like a slow delay. And then when I moved to Austin, I still had the contract. And what really did it, I was sitting there at Woodrow's on West, and it was a UFC fight night. And man, it was cracking. It was cracking. Everyone was outside watching the fights. And I remember thinking like, man, I know Bellator was good money, but like I want to be in the big show. Like I want to go all the way. I want to do this. Like the vibe, the energy was incredible. It was like people love the UFC. Like
Yeah.
I think initially I was just so happy. I was like willing to do whatever. So that's when I really was thinking about that. And then just at that time too, Bellator was in talks with PFL.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got acquired by PFL and then eventually like absorbed, and, like disbanded. So
I was gonna say they're not around anymore, correct?
no, yeah, they absorbed Bellator for a second and then they kind of like disbanded it. They signed like all the best talent.
Yeah.
And kind of cut everybody else.
Okay. I want to backtrack on a couple of things you said there. So when it's interesting that you said you were at kind of like the apex or like the peak of AKA. So I always felt like I came in at the tail end of Jackson Wink's peak because at that point, Greg Jackson was like semi-retired, kind of like you're talking about. Like Javier was just kind of messing with like the Dagestani guys. Like Greg was really, you know, with like not really even Holly. He was with like Cowboy. He was with John Jones. So he was only with like a couple of the big names, but like Greg Jackson really wasn't around like when I was getting into Jackson Wink a little bit. So like I said, I feel like I kind of caught the tail end of that. I didn't really see like when GSP was there. I mean, Carlos Condit was still there, but you know, a lot of names came through. So I never really got to be there for like the excitement of it, but I kind of came in at the tail end. So interesting you said that you were there for the peak of AKA because man, there were some names there.
Yeah, and that might be debatable to some of the boys or the old guys hearing this, but I mean, you know, I think Luke, he either had just won his title or it was around that time. And then DC, I think I had a belt or was, you know, he was battling with Jones at that time, I think too. You know, became the champ. You know, Habib had won his belt. You know, Islam was on the rise. I remember, you know, training with Islam and, you know.
Did you guys know like that he was next?
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody kind of knew like this as soon as Habib's done, Islam is the future.
Yeah, I think we all knew it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was different. Just like Habib, they're a little bit different, man.
Yeah.
Like not all the Dagestani guys were like that, you know?
Yeah.
Those guys were special athletes, you know? And then they're both kind of, I think a lot of people might think that they were similar, but they were a little bit different also.
Yeah.
You know, obviously heavily influenced each other, but
sure.
Yeah, they're kind of different.
I always felt like, I mean, this may be a hot take, but I feel like Prime Islam, and I don't even know if he's past his prime, but Prime Islam beats Prime Habib.
You know, I think
simply on the striking, man. I think his striking is pretty damn good. Like really damn good.
Yeah, you know, that was one thing I'd say about Islam was that he, his athleticism and his like kind of his well-roundedness. You know, like even I remember even kickboxing with him back in the day, and I was like kind of surprised that, you know, a wrestler could, even though I was a wrestler that kickbox, I'm always surprised. I feel like I adjusted well.
Yeah.
But I was kind of surprised by his eyes and his timing. I was like, okay, you know, like it was already impressive back then. I think it's so hard to say this. I still think a Prime Habib.
Really?
You know, it's not as pretty, you might say,
sure.
Or like you might say the skill set isn't there. But the thing about Habib was just unrelenting. Like it was just, you can't understand it until you're in there. Like, I mean, the things I used to see that guy do to people was like, I mean, Islam I don't feel like he would ever get the chance to really strike like that. He'd be anti-wrestling the entire time. But from what I remember like Islam and Habib, those were really close rounds a lot of the
Yeah.
time. And
I bet that was fun to watch.
yeah, man, I remember seeing some stuff that I feel like people would pay for.
Yeah, I bet.
You know
Pay
what I
good
mean?
money for.
Oh yeah, you're just seeing these training sessions with Islam and Habib, and you're like, because at the time Habib was the boogeyman,
Yeah.
right? There's no one in the world that was like that had anything for that guy, and even in training most of the time it was like that, But then you see him go with Islam, and you're just like, oh shoot,
Yeah.
this guy he's awesome too. But I say all that, and I say Habib was still probably the greatest, like I think fighter. Like I'm sure you could talk about all the well-rounded skill sets and this, that, and the other, but I mean, just like, man, it's a perfect example of just insane willpower. Like we'd be like stretching or jumping rope or something, we just got there, maybe wrapping our hands, and he would have already grabbed somebody and was like banging him against the wall and like ragdolling someone. Just that was his warm-up, was like just mauling like 2 or 3 guys.
Yeah.
Then he'd stretch a little bit, and then they'd be like, okay.
Then stretch a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. And then he'd be like, okay, now we need 5 rounds for Habib. Like, who wants to give him rounds? And this is like a room with like 40 grown men, and everyone's just acting like they didn't hear coach call for rounds.
Yeah.
And it's like nobody wanted that in their life,
Yeah.
And they would have to, a lot of the times it'd have to be like 5 fresh dudes, like all different weight classes too. It'd be like a lightweight, welterweight, middleweight maybe.
Yeah.
And bro, he would just, I'd seen him even break guys in like under 5 minutes. Like it's just, his patience, pressure was insane.
Yeah.
Especially when, you have to imagine when he fought, he was like almost on his deathbed every time too. The guy he's enormous.
He's huge.
He's huge, man. Like,
What do you think walk around at?
Now I'm not sure, but like
in his like title run.
in the 190s, maybe pushing 200, he was a big boy.
Yeah, I mean, you hear like about like Poirier and Chandler walking around like close to 190, like 185, 190 for both those boys. And I always felt like Habib looked bigger.
I mean, he is.
Yeah, I mean, he is.
I was like, it might have even been bigger than that, to be honest. Like, yeah, they were just massive, massive guys. It was incredible, like looking at them. I'm like, how do you guys make like 55? They were bigger than most of our welterweights, to be honest.
Islam's huge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was always kind of a big guy, but even bigger now at welterweight.
Yeah,
but
massive, dude.
yeah, so I mean, you imagine those guys without the weight cut, like
Yeah.
so much worse.
Ian Gary got anything for Islam?
So
that's the next title fight, right?
I think that's in the talks or something like that. I'm just, I'm speculating. But the one thing I think that the reason why Islam even has one loss is because he's more willing to strike
Mm.
and he's more willing, to make a fight that way.
Yeah.
Whereas like Habib, it was never that. Like there's a goal,
Yeah,
there's
he's
a
not
mission,
messing
he's gonna
around.
get his hands on you. Like there's no room for, Like he was instantly implementing the game plan towards like, Islam, like for example, he had a 5-rounder with Poirier. I think that like surprised me because in my mind, I think that fight should have looked like the other fights that he's had.
Yeah.
Where he's finishing guys like in the second round. He's very good, very strong. If he really wanted to just take guys down and get rid of them, I think he could do that most of the time. It's like a very slick group of people that are stopping that.
Yeah.
Because one thing about Islam too that I noticed, like from training with him, is that he's very slick on the ground. Also, like Habib would dominate you with posture. I mean, his grappling is very good too. People didn't get to see like his full scope of jiu-jitsu, but Islam catches stuff. Like Islam, he'll catch your neck, arm, something. You know what I mean? Like he's very, very slick on the ground.
Okay.
Whereas Habib would like hold you down and break you and maul you.
Yeah.
He'll sub you too if you give it to him. But I mean, it's like, I think Islam was like, and Islam's perfectly capable of doing the same things, I guess. But kind of that's the difference in the style where it was like, I feel like, Habib would like rip your arm off, whereas Islam would like slice it off.
Yeah.
A
little less gritty, which is wild to say because he's still a very gritty individual. But like you said, Habib's just relentless.
Yeah, man. And I think too, like you get no space with him. He suffocates you. He fights one way. Whereas, Islam, that was kind of the tricky thing about him was like, oh, he gives you this illusion that you're kickboxing with him for a second, then he'll shoot on you or like, he'll make you think you're grappling and then back up and knee you, clinch you up,
Yeah.
So I just think that's kind of like where they were different.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were speaking about going back to your MMA career and your time at Bellator and then leaving Bellator. So speaking to the fact that there are more promotions now, or not, maybe not necessarily more promotions, but some interesting promotions. Did you watch the Netflix card?
The MVP one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, what were your thoughts on that?
I was supposed to fight Jake Bobbian.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, the one that was he fought that Nemo dude.
Yeah, early on.
Guy's a weenie, bro. Oh God, he bothers me.
You were supposed to fight him for who?
Not Jake.
Yeah.
The other guy.
Right.
Whatever this dude, this Kurdistan guy, whatever.
Yeah.
So cringe.
Oh, that sucks.
It's like a Temu McGregor, dude.
Timu McGregor. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
Timu
he's
McGregor.
terrible. But and not like, I mean, respect to Jake too, but I don't really think he was like at that high level either.
Mm-hmm.
So like that win, I think he just signed a UFC contract immediately after that. The guy that he fought, whatever. But I'm always gonna root for the fighters. I love to see other promotions that are gonna present like a good challenge.
Yeah.
To the UFC, because hopefully that pushes UFC to make it better for the fighters.
Yeah.
But UFC is still kind of the apex. But I don't know. I think PFL has done some good things though.
Yeah.
I feel like they have some good prospect signings. Them having Francis Ngannou MVP, that's pretty good. But that's what they're gonna have to do. They have to get more like marquee signings where like, okay, this guy holds value regardless. Like his ranking is like cemented. You're gonna have to have that, or some superstars of sorts. Like they're gonna have to figure out how to bake a cake from scratch over there, because a lot of what they do in these other promotions is they put icing on the cake.
Right.
The guy, he came from the UFC. He's here now. You need to find a way to make like a true superstar.
Right.
Out of their organizations.
It was interesting to see. It was in Crenshaw, right? It was at
It's in LA.
It was in LA. Yeah, I was down in LA. I feel like the production was good. I feel like I liked everything that was going on. Once you see like some of the like confirmed paychecks these guys were getting, like the guy that fought Francis got like $100K, and then Francis gave him like his $100K bonus on top of that, which was, I think, classy move by Francis. But it's like, who does a guy like Francis fight for that promotion? Like, it would be amazing to see John Jones, but I don't know if that happens.
Yeah, I don't think that fight ever happens. I think Jones is done, to be honest.
Really?
I mean, if he wanted to fight, maybe. I mean, also too, it's like, but he's the guy that comes off the couch and proves everyone wrong. Like, what was it, like Cyril?
Yeah, when he fought Cyril Gane.
Yeah, he came.
That was after tearing his pec.
I think that was after so, right?
Pec,
yeah, I mean, he's taken long layoffs before, and he's come back and shown shown the world why he's considered one of the greatest.
Yeah, the greatest. Let me correct you there.
Yeah, man. Well, we've talked about this before, but yeah, I didn't really get along with DC in my time at AKA. I just felt like that persona he gives everyone, like the John Madden of the sport. I think it's not my experience with him, And so when he was fighting John Jones, I kind of also, I think, or at least guys like me, where I was like, you can kind of relate to guys like John Jones, where like I was a JUCO bandit, same way he was, like I was one of these JUCO kids that come and scrap with a D1 guy and give him a run for their money, Whereas I feel like DC was like the opposite, right? He was like Mr. Division I, Oklahoma State guy, had all these accolades and stuff
Olympian,
coming
right?
to sport. Yeah, he was on, I think, the Athens team.
Okay.
So it's just like, it wasn't like a really like relatable guy to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And someone like Jones, a guy who's messing up a little bit, you're definitely not perfect, but he's still going out there and proving to the world why he's the greatest. It was kind of one of those weird rivalries for me. I was like, obviously DC was the teammate, so I'm rooting for him. But hard not to like John Jones, man. I mean, just objectively as a fighter, he's very good.
Yeah. I think he in most fighters' opinions, he's the greatest fighter, and a lot of fighters, but don't say most, but you hear a lot of guys talk and they like John at the top of that list. Even I think Demetrius Johnson was like, yeah, John Jones is at the top of the GOAT list, and that's coming from a guy who is arguably the greatest. So there's a handful of fighters that are in that conversation. I like to put John up there. When you see like the hit list that he had and like how he was beating some of those guys, and just like the way some of those guys would just quit. Like when he beat Shogun, like he just beat old boy and like he was done. And so same thing with like Vitor, like he beat him in jiu-jitsu. Like, when John almost snapped his arm in an armbar, then John comes back and subs.
I thought he did break his arm, no?
I think he did, yeah. Yeah, I'm saying like he almost lost. That was probably the closest to a loss. That, and then you could argue first Gustafsson. Those are John's closest fights. Dominic Reyes was a very tough fight as well. But as far as like damage-wise, Vitor.
I like that Lyoto win.
Oh, dude.
That was so cold.
Dude, it looks like a murder scene. He just drops Lyoto, who again, former champ, and he just walks off. and Lyoto falls like an actual like crash test dummy. He's just
A sack of potatoes, man.
yeah. So yeah, I liked the Netflix card. Did you see the Junior Dos Santos fight?
Oh yeah,
He
man.
fought Despaigne. Didn't that guy fight out of Fury?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he was. Didn't he have a string of knocking out like 3 heavyweights in under 30 seconds or something like that?
Yeah, it might have been 3 or 4. I mean, he was ripping.
Yeah.
And they took a chance on him early, the UFC, and I think he might have dropped 1 or 2 there or something like that. And then maybe they sent him back for like redevelopment. But that's crazy because, he goes and takes on a former champion and then treats him like the rest. That's kind of like crazy. And it's like the way he did it too.
Mm-hmm.
I think potentially like that might be a guy to invest in, like
Yeah.
he needs a development, but I mean, you're not seeing number one, that many guys his size and like just the way, like, I mean, if you watch that finishing sequence, yeah, man, it looked incredible. I mean, the power and the range, I mean, and the way, and like the fluidity at that size, like
Taekwondo?
I think he was like a Taekwondo.
Yeah, he was a like bronze medalist or some crap.
Yeah, I think he was like Olympic Taekwondo or something like that.
From Cuba.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. I would love to see him fight Francis. But I think to back that up a little bit, when he was in the UFC, because I think he's like 37, if I'm not mistaken.
Francis?
No. Despaigne.
Really?
Yeah, so that might be another reason why the UFC didn't like find it, advantageous to invest in him. Because I think he showed 0 grappling in the UFC. I think his 2 losses came via like grappling. And then you have a guy who's, I believe, mid to late 30s. So like I said, maybe that's why the UFC didn't put money in him. But dude, he's exciting. And I think him and Francis would be wild because that's not going to the ground.
I mean, people forget. What was that fight that Francis had?
Derek Lewis?
Was that the one where he mauled him?
Oh, no, Cyril Gahn.
Yes.
He wrestle fucked Cyril Gahn.
Bro, he showed all kinds of levels. After I saw that, I was like, this guy might be, because we had the questions about Francis's grappling.
Yeah.
And man, I mean, and that was a crazy fight.
It's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, I really feel like that guy, true MMA champion,
Yeah, the scariest guy in MMA for a little while. I mean, probably still, like, at least physically.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And we watched Aspinall.
Yeah.
And Sergey, that was a crazy one.
Yeah.
Watched that at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah. That was wild. Aspinall looked like he was going to be the future. I mean, he is the current champ.
I still think that guy is probably still one of the more well-rounded heavyweights. I mean, the way he moves his striking.
Aspinall?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And he has like a well-rounded game too.
Mm-hmm.
If he ever recovers, I think he has like an eye injury or something. If he recovers from that, he'll be okay.
I think he's been cleared, if I'm not mistaken. I thought I read that like within the last few weeks he's been cleared.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because again, he started jiu-jitsu at like 4 years old, 5 years old. He started jiu-jitsu very young. And then his boxing is, I agree with you. I think he's one of the more well-rounded heavyweights we've maybe ever seen. So that was one that, as a John Jones fan and friend, I wasn't sure if I wanted to see it. I love me some John, and I will never bet against John. But that was when I was like, man, this guy's, and he's big. He's a very natural heavyweight. So that would have been a wild one.
It's always the thing too. Like I'm a fan of greatness, so I always like I get nervous for these fighters. You know what I mean, with like legacies.
Mm-hmm.
I like them all really, but yeah, some of those fights. You're like, I wonder how that would have went. Especially because I don't think Jones is a true heavyweight, and I mean he's probably maybe getting close there now. The program he's on, but there's a reason why there's weight classes. And that's I mean, we're talking about jumps in weight classes. 205 to 265 is the biggest one. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Tom Aspinall looks every bit of, on Fight Night, he's probably bigger than 265. Does he cut the heavyweight limit? Do you know? I would imagine.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably like a quality 265 too.
Yeah.
Those guys, him especially, like some of these guys actually nowadays, they're like NFL caliber athletes that can fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like Aspinall, like, I feel like that dude played like left guard or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The mobility and the speed, like you weren't really seeing that before, getting usually like really blown up heavyweights or,
Roy Nelson.
Yeah, it's like I don't even think there was like an average build for heavyweight. I think it was like, can't make 205. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see like the transition of athletes coming to MMA in all weight classes. Because for the longest time, it just seemed like guys that, might have been training somewhere for a long time or who was just, you go back to the early days and like who was the toughest guy out there kind of stuff. So now you're starting to see like, who's the big Cuban guy? Not Despaigne, obviously. He just knocked out Derek Lewis not too long ago.
De Castro?
Oh, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank.
I think it's De Castro guy.
It could be something. It's something like that. But anyway, he got drafted for baseball He was a pitcher. He used to throw like high 90s, and now he's just sleeping dudes. And he's on I think he's on the White House card.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, man, I'm slipping up right now. But anyway, he's nasty. And so again, you're starting to see more of these athletes transition, which is really, really cool to see. Do you think Austin's like next for like the MMA scene? Because obviously jiu-jitsu has made quite an impression here. Do you think MMA is going to follow that?
I hope so.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to bring here, at least. You know, I noticed because that was another thing when I left AKA, it was like a huge leap of faith.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you're leaving the farm. You know, this is a storied, you know, program, academy. I mean, we're the best on the West Coast without a doubt. You know, and potentially of all time when you consider as many champions that we had, or at least a period of time. You know, I know what they got down there in Boca Raton, top team.
Yeah,
it was like the other one, and then of course Winklejohn.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was like the big three. You know.
Yeah.
So coming to Austin, you know, I had an understanding that the MMA scene was not here. Like. It's not really high level MMA in Austin right now. Jiu-jitsu. This is it's probably the best American city for jiu-jitsu. I mean, some of the best grapplers, like most of the best grapplers in the world live here.
Yeah.
But MMA, yeah, not so much. And I always wonder why that was. Because, for example, I mean, Austin loves fighting.
Yeah.
UFC cards at the bar, I mean, slammed. They're selling out the UFC, you know, cards that they host here. You know? The city loves fighting. And a lot of the jiu-jitsu fans love MMA, honestly, just kind of naturally. So, yeah, I've always just kind of wondered why that never took off. But I know that's what we're trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do. At least, you know, Andrew Craig, you know, he's one of the triple OGs out here, him and Tim Kennedy.
Yeah.
And then who was that guy from back in the day? Huerta.
Oh, yeah, Roger Huerta.
Yeah, some of those guys, you know. So there's like some legacy in Austin, you know?
For sure.
But, yeah, as far as like world-class training camps, they're not here yet. I know Rafael dos Anjos just opened up a spot, I believe.
Yep.
So we'll see where that goes. I mean, that's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to connect with him as well and trying to see if we can get, you know, some of our resources together. But yeah, you know, that's what I want to do for Austin at least. You know, start recruiting some guys to come out here, move out here.
Yeah.
Come train with us at Pressure. Keep it small. I want like a small team. Mm-hmm. But we're still training with the Lost Boys. Shout out to the Lost Boys.
Yeah.
Andrew Craig.
Andrew Craig's the man.
Kyle Howard.
Kyle is the man. He's one of my favorite people, as is Andrew.
Absolute man.
It's funny, I've heard a lot of people say Andrew Craig is who Matthew McConaughey tries to play in every movie.
He's the dude.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm like, that's pretty spot on.
That movie was made after Andrew Craig.
Right.
He is the dude.
The dude, yeah. I met Jeff. I was in a movie with Jeff Bridges, actually. Oddly enough, that's who played the dude. I know, name drop. Watch out now.
Side note.
Y'all didn't know that. Got a slight acting career. But what I want to ask you and what I've been wanting to ask you, so you come from a very heavy wrestling background. I know you love wrestling. What made you want to open a boxing gym?
I think, you want the honest answer?
Yeah, and also where does your affinity for boxing come from?
Honest answer is I hate teaching grappling privates.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
I just thought about what I want to do every single day. And it's like, I love grappling so much. I'm through and through a grappler, you know, and like I plan on doing that eventually. But like, I think that like it's just so much easier to like, you know, teach a striking private. And so I think really how that gym started was that, you know, I was so many people's striking coach. And also too, like entry level, like, you know, someone wants to think about doing a martial art. Usually it's like boxing's like a very like common entry point. Like
sure.
There's a select group of people that skip that and go right to jiu-jitsu. Also too, just there's so many people out here teaching jiu-jitsu at jiu-jitsu school. I feel like popping up every, you know, block or so. So I think in my mind, that's kind of where I went with. They already had a following for being a striking coach in Austin. And it just kind of seemed like a natural segue. But yeah, and then the kickboxing, boxing, all that stuff, that started with Javier Mendez for sure.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Javi was so busy all the time with all these crazy prospects and champions and stuff like that, that he handed me to his best friend that a lot of people don't know about. His name's Jerry Ferrolo and the Paisano Powerhouse. Shout out to Jerry, Uncle Jerry. The guy's frightening, absolute monster. He was a great boxer back in his day. I think he was like 7-0, 7 knockouts. It's like knocking guys out so bad, like 15 minutes, these guys were asleep, but cutting shoes off the guys, taking them out in stretchers. And he was a 33 pounder.
Damn.
Dude.
Yeah, you don't see that kind of power at 33.
He's a freak, dude.
Yeah.
The 4 plates clanging, like at 50 or whenever I met him, you know, like doing pull-ups so fast, he pushed himself down and bend the bar. Like he was just a silverback.
Yeah.
Guy was an absolute animal. But he really, I think we're both Italian too, so and he kind of took me under his wing. He wasn't really coaching that many other guys, like maybe one other guy. And I probably spent about just 2 years getting dialed in with him. And he
Mhm.
was just so technical and he had such a crazy passion for it. And he really trained me old school. And like I think I just caught the bug. I was already in love with the sport, but
The
I mean he
sweet
took it
science.
took it to the next level with
Yeah.
Jerry. And so I think that's really what it was for me. It was like Jerry Ferrolo and Javier Mendez kind of exposed me to that.
It's interesting because you're very much a student of boxing. Like when you would hold mitts for me in this most recent fight camp that I had, that unfortunately didn't happen, but I was doing my boxing with you, and you would often refer like old fights or fighters to me, and you'd be like, "Well, I watched this or I saw this." Like you very much again pay attention to the game. You're learning, you're evolving. So again, it's interesting to see you now opening a boxing gym that seems to be doing very well. It's really cool and it's very aesthetically beautiful, which is great because it's a dream that you've talked about with me for a couple of years now. So to see you actually like running with it has been badass. But again, you know your shit. Like my boxing in this past fight camp, I had the one I went to compete in MDL Muay Thai Developmental League, and I broke my foot earlier. Like literally the first sparring session in fight camp, I broke my foot. So my boxing with you was like a majority of my training. So when I went to go do MDL, I maybe threw like 3 or 4 kicks, but like I bloodied the dude up. I busted his nose. And then in sparring, like my boxing just felt so clean. And I was like, oh shit, like Shane knows what he's doing. Just cut a little promo for you there.
I appreciate you, boss. I always joke around. I say, I learned the hard way. So I done knocked some people out. And I've done been knocked out.
Yeah.
So you learn a lot, just through competing. But I was, like I said, being at AK, I got to work with so many great fighters, Like I think I can give you a piece of technique from a bunch of the different older brothers that I had there, like Gabriel Benitez. That guy gave me the jab, man. That was the best jab in the business. Yeah, I think I got the rub. I think that's what I'll call it. I got the rub. I got to be around guys way better than me. I got to look up to a lot of really good guys for a long time. And I think for me, I was always just very naturally curious. I was a technique freak. I always wanted to know more.
Mm-hmm.
And I was always kind of really like that, I feel like.
Yeah.
And that's like, something I feel like is an issue with like a lot of them, whether it's, clients maybe or up and coming young guys is like, they don't, I think they just want to like skip right to the UFC, I guess. And, they think about the end game, but they don't fall in love with the sport or the process. And they don't realize that like, that's what hinders them.
Yeah.
In the long run, my coach would tell me about, this is a fight that I needed to watch because this guy had the best left hook ever. I was like, what's the fight?
Yeah.
And how many more fights? Like no one ever had to tell me to do it. I was always curious.
Yeah.
And so like half the fights I referenced to you are ones that like, I probably done once as homework.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cause I was always kind of like that, luckily.
That's awesome. I remember, I think it's the only time I've seen you fight live, but you, it might've been your first fight for Fury. When you cracked that dude with the right, like a cross, and it sounded so different. I was like, fuck, that guy hits. And it sounded like Rocky, like breaking the side of beef ribs. You know what I mean? Like it's like, even with the sound effects in the movie, I was like you could hear it. The whole place heard it. I think even going back and watching it online, the commentators commented on that, saying like, that sounded different. So again, I was expecting you to like grapple, and you just come out and just clean right down the pipe cross. And I mean, the guy's face was probably not okay after that.
Yeah, I think he might have broke his like zygote or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, they always laugh because like the announcer was like, I think that's like the hardest right hand we've ever heard here at Fury.
Yeah.
Or since he's been announcing.
Yeah.
And so I got to go back and give him another one.
Give him another one. Hell yeah, man. Can't wait for that.
Yeah.
But going back to the gym, so what is your vision with this gym? What do you guys got going on? Like, tell me, you guys got events coming up. I see you guys posting all the time. You guys are doing great. Got a couple of awesome coaches over there that I know pretty well. So tell me what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, so it's called Pressure Gym. We're like right there in downtown, like prime downtown East Side, East 7th Street, right across from the HT University. Man, so like my vision was, it's kind of funny. I always joke around, but it's like, why does martial arts got to be so nerdy all the time?
Uh-huh.
Everything's got to have a Chinese dragon on it with Japanese letters I can't read. I just wanted to make something more true to me. I'm a West Coast kid. I'm from the Bay Area. I wanted like a gym that was a little bit more culture. Obviously, East Side is kind of, has its history as well. So I just kind of wanted to tap into the roots that way. And then really the goal is we wanted to do something different. Like, I feel like, you go to like a lot of these gyms, for example, and they're either like boutique or they're way too maybe, I don't know, martial artsy. There's just, in my opinion, there's a lot of charlatans, I feel like.
Sure.
And for me, I wanted to create a place where like people are actually getting better, but you also can get like a fast paced sort of environment too if you wanted to. Like our pressure classes and stuff incorporates kind of hit workouts in them. So it kind of caters to that audience. But then, you got professional fighter teaching you how to box and kickbox also.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we're kind of just doing everything. Like I kind of had this vision. I feel like we're one of the only places that really offers like a regular mitts class as like a staple. Where like, coming up, it was like, I was blessed to see my coach and get mitts with my coach like once a week, or once a week would be nice.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was like once a month, if that. And so this is a place where, you can just basically go just for that, where you can get like individual attention to rips and pads. Usually it takes a membership at a gym. You develop a relationship with a coach and then you work something out on the side. I think it's kind of cool that what makes us different is you can just show up for the work and, you can dip, or you can also, take the time to take some of the other classes as well.
Yeah.
But my goal long term is I want to create it into a brand. I'm already working on that now, creating some like really dope gear.
Nice.
Streetwear, lifestyle apparel. Man. Yeah, I'm sure I have so many ideas, But also too, I want to have like a small stable of just like, high quality fighters. I want to recruit whoever's willing to come out here to Austin, but also too, I'm kind of looking for some young guns because it's nice to invest in guys early, get them to buy into the system. And I feel like I said, I saw a lot of championship training camps when I was at AKA, so I feel like I have a very good idea of what that should look like.
Mm-hmm.
And also too, those young guys will keep me on my heels too. I know I'm still trying to make it to the UFC.
Yeah.
So it'll be mutually beneficial, but also, that gym will help us bring, Austin MMA to the next level, hopefully, because, even Fury now, they're still trying to get us to go to Houston, Dallas, San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
And I always ask, like, why don't we go to Austin? Like we would sell it out. Like,
yeah.
It'd be star-studded, like the amount of people we know. Like Austin's the world's biggest little city, like the things that go on here are worldly. Like, you got
for sure
celebrities, the number one this and that. There's all kinds of things going on here. And the culture's dope. Like I feel like that's another thing I wanted to do with Pressure is that I wanted to add to this Austin culture, where it's comedy, musicians, Hollywood's moving here, you got the fight scene that's growing.
Yeah.
Artists, I think that I just wanted to create a place that kind of fit into all that.
Yeah, I like that. And it'll be interesting to see if Fury comes. I know Melee has thrown a couple promotions here, and then Coalition Muay Thai had their card in March that was up in Round Rock or Cedar Park, I forget. But again, I am very curious, especially with the relationship between Andrew and Eric. Like, I wonder when Fury will be coming up here and why they haven't yet. Because again, the culture, we were the only U.S. city for how long that had a Formula One track? And now they do it in Vegas and Miami. But like Austin is a scene. Like the fact that they haven't come here is kind of bizarre.
Eric Garcia.
Yeah, preaching to the choir.
Yeah, no, I told him that too. I was like, it makes no sense that you wouldn't come up here. We would absolutely sell it out.
Yeah.
Your tables, you wouldn't even know who'd be at your tables. It could be like, you'd be surprised who'd show up,
Right.
A lot of us obviously at the mothership, the boys, shout out to the mothership, the boys at the mothership. We were working for Rogan for a long time too. So it's just like, it's kind of cool how it all overlaps. And I really feel like Austin's just like an untapped market for that kind of stuff. It makes no sense. I think when I talked to Eric initially, he said he had a hard time finding venues.
Okay.
I think the price point probably in San Antonio, Dallas, and Houston, you could probably find all these venues where you're taking the lion's share. And it might be a little bit harder to do in Austin, but I still don't buy that because I found him a location once. I was like, they're waiting on you, man.
Yeah.
Never really got a call back. I know LFA.
Never really got a call back.
It kind of ghosted me on that. But I know LFA hit me up. I was talking to Ed Soares.
Okay.
And he was thinking about bringing LFA to Austin. So, there's some people thinking about it, but it's like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I don't know. These guys are like going to go to Connecticut and, North Dakota before they come to Austin. It makes no sense. This is like a city that loves fighting. It would support.
Yeah.
And it baffles me still. So maybe we'll be able to change that when we get some momentum with the gym and stuff. Maybe we get into promotions. It's something I thought about as well.
Yeah, for sure. You have so many big name gyms here, whether it's Lost Boys, Simple Man, whatever gym Gordon Ryan's at. But then you mentioned Mothership, you mentioned Rogan. Obviously, he has very, very deep roots in MMA. Ways to Well, like there's so many big names, big companies that are willing to get into the game or at least somewhat like tied to the game. So again, it's really crazy that they haven't come here yet.
That's the last thing that's missing, man. A little MMA around here.
That'd be beautiful. So what's the next for you, man? What you want to continue fighting? Have you had any talks about this?
Yeah, so I was signed to Fury. I
Mhm.
finished my 4-fight deal I had with them, and then I signed with a promotion called Lights Out.
Okay.
And I think they're like on hiatus, or they went under or something, because the matchmaker called me and she asked me if I wanted to fight for Scott Coker's new promotion.
Oh,
And I was like, didn't I just sign like a 3-fight deal with y'all? So it kind of confused me, but I think that it's, basically I'm a free agent. I'll put
Yeah.
it that way. Eric reached out to me again recently, and I almost jumped right back in there, but I want my return to be intentional.
right.
Yes, I still do want to fight. I think I'm better than I ever been. I know people say that all the time after they lose,
Yeah.
but I didn't lose for 6 years for a reason. It was like 6 or 7 years. I hadn't lost, and those 2 losses were just like a good piece of humble pie for me.
Yeah.
I think I've always been talented, like raw talent,
Mm-hmm.
and the discipline and the work ethic had to catch up to that.
Sure.
And also too, the 2 guys I fought. One guy just fought in the UFC last weekend. He was undefeated before that.
Yeah.
And then the first guy I lost to, he went on to win the Fury belt and defend it, and he beat like 2 UFC vets on the way. So it's like I didn't lose to any middle of the mall fighters. They're like the best prospects in the country.
Yeah.
I still think I could have beat them both. I just I had to make some adjustments to my lifestyle, my preparation, my training camp. And when I was getting ready I was going to fight Jake Bobbian this last December. I mean, I was so dialed.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the pain and heartbreak and the experience, it all went into a really good camp. I was about 5 weeks into camp, and then the opportunity to open the gym came up, and I kind of had to make a judgment call. So I ended up just going forward with the gym. But yeah, moving forward, we're trying to get this gym
Mhm.
rolling, try to get some guys to move out here. And then, I want to get back in that cage so bad. I think like 2 times this year would be ideal if I can get in there,
Oh, nice.
maybe in August and try to squeak one out in November, December.
Yeah.
I think that'd be perfect timing. That put me right back in the picture too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Back in the thick of it. You guys recently with the gym, Pressure Gym, you guys had the Zilker in the Park boxing. How'd that go?
That was dope, man.
Yeah.
I've been drinking Zilker beers for years. Shout out to Zilker.
Yeah.
And they're right there. That's like, we're so prime, like our location. You could honestly, you could park your car at the gym and go out and have like a crazy night. Like it's like a really dope place.
Yeah.
And so we just kind of we'd been walking. They've seen us in there enough times. And little Curtis, shout out Curtis.
Shout out little Curtis.
Little Kurt. He
Dirty
struck
Curdy.
up Dirty Curdy, dude. Kurt Cat. Yeah, man. He struck up a conversation with them, and yeah, we've been hosting events there. I
Nice.
think we'll do 2 more Sunday sessions, and then see where we go from there. I want to do some more larger ones, maybe some at Zilker.
Yeah.
Got all these damn run clubs. I want to make a fight club or a boxing club, do something massive like that for the city. I think that'd be fun. Be
Yeah.
a good, healthy place for people to get, introduced to the sport.
And while you're at it, you might as well teach Curtis how to fight. I think that'd be a great idea.
I'll tell you what, he ain't never been second.
He ain't never been second.
That guy's always first.
Yeah, he's hilarious. I love giving that guy a hard time.
Oh yeah, everyone does.
All right, cool, man. Well, why don't you tell the people where to find you, where to find the gym, and let them know where to keep an eye out.
Yeah, man. Shane Keefe, IG Shuga Shane. Pressure Gym's the name of the gym. You can find us at Pressure Gym. IG, we're on East 7th Street.
Mm-hmm.
Been open now 5 weeks.
Let's go. Congrats, man.
Yeah,
Congrats.
we're definitely looking to get all the people to join and be part of the community and grow. And yeah, man. And I appreciate you having me out here, Nick, too. It's good to see you doing your thing also, man. This is awesome.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that. It has been really cool to talk to you about the gym because we've been talking about it for years now. So to see you doing it and to see it launching and to see it being successful is really cool. It's been a laborsome process for you, but I know you've been up losing sleep, you've been grinding, you've been trying to get it done. So to see it finally taking shape and coming to reality again, you manifested all that. So that's awesome, man. And love seeing it. Love supporting the gym. The coaches there are awesome. Again, the quality that people are getting when they go in there is awesome. So to see all of that unfolding, like I said, it's big and congrats on all that.
I appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
All right, everyone. Well, thanks for tuning in to the Lion Spit podcast. Again, I am your host, Nick Gomez, owner of Pressure Gym, Shane Keefe. Thank you for coming on, man. Come learn some boxing over there with the boys. Maybe even get in some secret wrestling. I've seen some, videos going on in the IG story.
Secret wrestling sounds questionable.
Secret wrestling sounds questionable. Let's not. Maybe make it not so secret. Shout out to Set, that is SETT, new nicotine alternative pouches. Go to getset.co, check them out, especially if you're trying to get off nicotine. And then shout out to Ghost Muay Thai as well. New Muay Thai brand out there, really changing the look of the game, coming out some really cool stuff. They actually just had Wiz Khalifa in the gym out there in Kingdom Muay Thai in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So some really cool stuff coming out of there. For both those companies, use code the Pit, and we will see you guys next time.